Alright, this is going to be one of those talking videos where I just talk about what you are watching. It's been quite a productive summer. We're winding down. This is one of the last farms that we have to do. And I suggest if you're watching this on a computer, just hit the full screen so that you can see everything that's going on, because it's really bright outside, and I've only got this thing sped up like 4 times. But I'd like to talk about how the year went, and this year versus last year and the year before and the year before that. So 2 years ago, I had traded in my standard 340 New Holland baler because I just wasn't happy with it. It was an okay baler. I guess if it was that I wasn't baling mulch hay, which is very difficult stuff to bale, because there you saw that bale explode. I'll explain that in a little bit. But anyways, if you the standard baler that has this crankshaft with packer fingers in it that just pack the hay up into the pre-charge chamber. And then there's a set of stuffer forks that fork it up into the bale chamber when it trips the mechanism to stuff it in front of the plunger. So, I mean, it worked okay as long as the hay was really dry and there was no dew on it. And, you know, it'd probably be awesome for straw and stuff, but it just, for mulch hay business, nah. Because you got to be out in the field as early as you can, and you got to be out in the field as late as you can, so that you can get all the hay baled that you need to get baled. And it just wasn't doing it for me. So I had that for 1 year, fought and struggled with wrapped augers, as you probably would see, and but then 2 years ago I traded that 340 standard in for the 340 crop cutter. Now, the first year I had it, the only thing I really had a lot of trouble with was that pickup and the chain on the pickup. And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse. And 3 pickups later, I sent it down the road. I put a brand new pickup on it before it went out because it was bent, it was cracked, it was welded, it was warped, it was just junk. So I think I shut this off here. Yeah, I do. And I repositioned. There's a better position here now anyway. So for all the trouble that I had with that baler, and there was a lot of excessive wear on the baler. The rotor was wearing, pretty intensely, because it had to squeeze the hay down to about 6 inches, or 6 inches in the throat before it would pass it on to the pre-charge chamber, which, worked out okay, I guess, because it was a cutter model. Now, if they had done away with the cutter, and I didn't have to buy the cutter drawer, but I did, because I thought that maybe I would be able to sell to the dairy industry, and it didn't work. So anyways, the second year, I just had $10,000 worth of parts into that baler in the second year of its operation. And the baler only had, let's see, what did it have? 16,000 bales through it? No, I didn't even have 16,000 bales through that baler. 15,000 bales through the baler. And that was disgusting to me. 15,000 bales, $10,000 worth of parts. It was off the warranty, and that's when I decided to buy the Krone baler that you're watching in operation right now. I know there's a lot of guys out there that are like, "Oh, you're a one-man Krone advertisement." Well, you know what? I really, truly am thrilled to own this Krone baler. There are a couple of things that need to be repaired on it when I am done. There's some, and I'll show that in a later video, not today, because it is minimal. It's really minimal. And you're going to see that in the video that I make with the Messick's guys, because we're taking this baler off the farm when I'm done, and it's going back to Messick's, and we are going to do a complete overview of this Krone baler. The hay rakes work awesome, and I'll tell you, you just can't beat this hay rake system for what I'm doing. Now, I don't know about you European guys, and I don't know about some of you guys here in the US that think a rotary rake is perfect for everything. Well, I could drive across this field 100 miles an hour and it'll still rake that hay just like that. Now, I've watched a lot of guys run their rotary rakes here in the United States, and they're driving 4 miles an hour to get, to make a windrow. They spend half their day raking a field this size to bale it. I don't have that kind of time. I mean, I'm baling, and in essence, I bale a little over 3,500 acres of hay once over. Second time over, I'm looking at a couple thousand acres of hay. So if I got 3,500 acres of first cut and then 2,000 or 1,500 to 2,000 acres of second cut, you're looking at somewhere around 5,000 acres of hay. Now, if I had a rotary rake that had to go 4 miles an hour, I wouldn't be halfway done with what I got to get done. So that's one of the reasons why I do not have the rotary rake. The other is maintenance on it. Now, I don't care what anybody says. The maintenance on a rotary rake is, it's really just, it's too much. It's too expensive. Whereas these wheel rakes, grease it and go. You see Cody on the right-hand side of the screen pulling strings off of that broken bale. Now, I'll tell you what happened. When you do the outside rounds of a field, that hay is damper than the inside of the field. It just is. It's just the way it is. You got the shade from the trees, and that's the way it works here in New Jersey. Out west, I'm sure it doesn't matter that way. So when you do the outside rounds, you adjust your pressures higher. That's right, higher, so you get as much hay in a bale as you possibly can. But when you get into the interior of the field, now my scale for some reason wasn't telling me what it was doing. So I had to just go on the pressures, and I was ignoring the pressures and blew up a bale. No big deal. And you're going to see me off to the side here go real slow and rebale. There I'm gone. So it doesn't take long to rebale a bale of hay, so it's really no big deal, to do the job. This field was grown 100% organically because it is owned by the Land Trust organization, which is an organization that buys land and preserves it and basically turns it into parkland. I think you can go on this land without any problems. You just walk on it. It's like public land, but it's not public land, but it falls under the public land use. Now I'm going to come and get the camera, and Cody's going to go home. He had raked another farm up before I had gotten there. Yeah, and here we are at the next place. He was done here already and had moved on to go home because he goes to college on Sunday mornings. Now this field was, so if you see the tractor and baler bouncing up and down, I did not work this field. I did not plant this field. I want to kill this field and redo this field because it is so ungodly rough. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, so that's really what, it's just, I have to go really slow on this field. And this is like a 22-acre field. It's a pretty decent-sized field for New Jersey. I know some of you guys out west are thinking 22 acres, that's brush hoggable, But in New Jersey, 20 acres is pretty good. So anyhow, this is second cut hay, by the way. And most of my second cut hay looks about like this. I did very well on this, about 2 bales to the acre, which is a ton and a half. Not quite a ton and a half. It's 1 ton, 800 pounds. So, close to a ton and a half to the acre, which is, that's $150 an acre. It cost me about $30 for the fertilizer per acre to put it on, and the rest is fuel equipment. So the second cut is like gravy on top. Now, before I'm done this year, I will have over 10,000 bales of hay through this baler, which to some people doesn't sound like a lot of bales, but when you're pushing out an average bale weight of 1,440 pounds, I think it's 1,443, the computer told me so, that's what the average bale weight is. That's a lot of hay. I'm at, right now on that baler, 9,300 and some odd bales. And I still have hundreds and hundreds of acres of hay to go. So yeah, my goal of 10,000 bales for the first year with the Krone baler is definitely going to be met. These bales are heavier than they ever were out of the New Holland baler. This baler has worked pretty near flawlessly. A piece of wood in the field is unavoidable. A rock that was unseen was unavoidable, and I will be showing that rock sooner or later. I'm going to be back up there making that hay again in a couple of weeks. So you'll see it again. I'll show the rock. But 10,000 bales is phenomenal for this particular baler because it is averaging about 350 pounds per bale more than what the New Holland baler could pack it in. A lot of that is due to the twine, I would say, but I'm having little to no problems with this baler. I mean, I go to the field and I work, and I come home at night and I'm not out of the baler 500 times fucking with a chain, excuse my language, or the other various things. Now, I am seeing a lot of wear on the pickup tines and some other little things that have happened over the use of the baler, which are very normal for 10,000 bales through the baler. Pickup tines are being replaced pretty regularly now, and when it goes back to Messick's, we're going to put a full line of new pickup tines in the baler while it's out there because it just needs to be done for the next year. There's bearings on the inside that need to be replaced, and because they're worn. There's plastic slides that need to be replaced because they're worn. There's just normal maintenance things, and I did all that on the New Holland when I had to. At the beginning of the year, I never did it in the fall because I just never did it in the fall. I was more interested in getting the hay out the door than I was in repairing the baler or maintaining the baler for the spring. So in the spring, just after I get the fertilizer on, that was when I would normally bring the New Holland baler in and do all these upgrades and do this stuff. And besides, I was sick and tired of looking at that New Holland baler by the time it was done. I was so disgusted with anything that New Holland put out that I don't think that I would ever buy another New Holland piece of equipment. But this leads me to tell you that New Holland makes a really nice rake, a really nice wheel rake, a 12-wheel rake, and I'm probably going to purchase one. Yes, you heard it right here at the end of this video that I'm more than likely going to purchase a New Holland rake. So it's all good. I like the New Holland. I liked my old New Holland rake, but it was too heavy for what I was doing, and it was okay, let's put it that way. And I had it for several years before I got rid of it. Timothy hit a pole with it and destroyed it. But they're not built by New Holland. They're actually built by a company, Steerex or Tenuti, I think is the company, an Italian company that builds the rakes. So I'm going to trade in both of my H&S's, and I'm going to buy a New Holland, and I'm probably going to try out a Peckway. Just to see which one is better in the end. And this video is over, so I'm just going to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this style of video. I'm going to do this every once in a while. Please comment, rate, and subscribe for more. And so long.